nothing will get you excited because we had a great game of football. So much to talk about, so much to discuss. Before we do it, I'm going to hand you over to the great man, my co-host with the most, a legend himself, Jamie Wallace. How are you, big fella?
I'm very well, Peps. How are you going?
Mate, I am excited. It's a bit of a sad one. I really don't like looking forward to the last one of the year, but I think it's massively important that we talk about the game.
Mm-hmm.
So much to talk about. We're going to dissect the game at a minute level. We're going to talk about what caught our eye. Where did it all go right? Where did it go wrong? The moves are made, everything. Like I say, every single week before we get into it, thank you, everybody, from the bottom of our hearts. Without you, we are nothing. So for everybody who's listening to this on the podcast, everybody who's viewing it live, thank you. Without you, we're nothing. And we do it because you love it, and because you love it, we love it. It's as simple as that. Well, we're going to get into the grand final. How'd you go, big fella? How was your grand final day?
Do you know what? Grand final day was the quietest I've ever had a grand final in the history of history.
The history of history. Okay.
It just was a really quiet one. I know on our topic, because this week, listeners, I can guarantee you, we actually have a run sheet this week. We're not going to let Peps out of the cage and just let him roam. We actually have topics.
Yes, after last week. Yeah. But
first off,
I've been put back in. Oh, yes. Sorry. Who are you sponsored by?
First off to everyone, tonight I'm sponsored by Modus Beers. It's an IPA. Not huge on IPAs, but cheers to everyone out there who's getting stuck into a Tuesday night bevy.
Oh, well, I'm on the Canadian Club and Dry tonight, homemade.
Cheers, Peps. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you, kind sir. And, mate, it just, like I said, there's so much to talk about. It was a massive great. Oh, can I just quickly do something before we start? I'm just going to go off camera for a sec. You just keep talking.
No. Okay, you do that. I'll just keep, because I am the king of the small talk. If you want small talk, you've come to the right place, because I can definitely fill in this dead air while Peps is away. What's everyone out there drinking? Get on the chat and let me know, because Peps is going to just. What's he doing? He's off camera. Listeners, while we're listening, while we're on the chat there, what's he doing? Put a chat in. What is Peps up to? What could he be doing right now? Keep in mind that he's in his bedroom. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! You've done it.
Oh, we're from Tigerland. I said I'd get it. I said I would wear the Richmond outfit if they won. I'm a man of my word. They were awesome. They were on. I've got the colours on. Donna, she's in the chat. Thank you very much. These are her colours, by the way. I've got them on. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Oh, mate, pumped. Absolutely pumped. I actually think it was one, from a grand final perspective, loved every single minute of it.
Okay.
As a spectacle, maybe not as much, but as a game, it had me at hello.
Had me in the first 5 minutes.
And it had me at the first 5 minutes. Had me at hello. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. But look, where do you want to start, mate? Because there's a few things on our run sheet that we wanted to go through. Should we just get balls deep into this review and have a bit of a chat about the game itself?
Let's go for it. Let's go quarter by quarter, Peps.
All right.
Because the game is so good that we have to talk about it quarter by quarter. But we'll do this quickly, because I know we've got a big run sheet tonight.
We've got a massive run sheet. Okay. Look, the way that Geelong came out in that first quarter was they were ready to. I reckon they really did catch Richmond on the hop big time.
Yeah.
And they were just led. And if you have a think about last week, we were picking out the players that needed to lift, and some of the names that I ran through in terms of Norman Smith pickups would have been Guthrie, would have been Duncan.
Yep.
Tom Stewart was amazing down back. He was just intercepting everything. Reece Stanley was doing a bit in the middle as well too.
Yep.
They were just dominating the ball, moving it forward. But funny thing was, 3 minutes into the game, the talking points had already started.
Yes.
Ablett goes down with his shoulder.
Yep.
Dangerfield decides to put Vlosten into next week.
Yep.
Which we'll talk about. What are your thoughts on that in a moment?
Sure.
But they just played some very, very good football, but they let themselves down again. They're kicking. They say bad kicking is bad football. Geelong, are they ever going to learn their lesson?
And Peps, you and I have spoken about this a couple of times, and I've got lots of Geelong supporting mates. if Tom Hawkins misses his first of the night, you can almost write that night off for Tom Hawkins. And that's exactly what he did. He missed one 35, 40 meters out on about a 45-degree angle, and it just went to the left.
Yep, pushed it.
And you could tell. You could just tell from that moment that history of what he plays like when he misses his first shot on goal is always going to be, for him, unfortunately, a bit of a night barometer.
Yeah, and when he gets those ones, the face can't. When he gets those ones, with those piercing eyes, though. Oh, when he gets those piercing eyes going, well. But yeah, he missed the first one, and that would have set them on a trajectory.
The first quarter was Richmond 2-1-13 versus Geelong Cats 2-2-14. So as tight as it can possibly be coming into the second quarter.
Yeah.
We find ourselves in the second quarter, and the game definitely has a tale of two halves to a quarter.
You remember that movie in the 90s, Sliding Doors, with Gwyneth?
Yes.
Yeah. You know when she was like Brad Pitt Gwyneth? Right? Not Chris Martin Gwyneth, but Brad Pitt Gwyneth.
Right.
There was sliding doors. There was one moment from that second quarter that could have changed the game completely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Bryden. I can't even pronounce his name. Bryden Myers. How do you pronounce it?
Graydon Myers.
Graydon Myers. Yeah, dreadlock kid. Right?
Or was it Braden Grimes?
Does it matter? All right. Geelong's Whoopi Goldberg for all I care. He takes a mark. What? It would be no more than 25 meters out.
Yep.
And instead of just going straight back and slotting it with a drop punt, which, most kids born in the 70s and 80s do.
Yep.
Decides to do this around the corner business. Sprays it. He sprays it right. I don't know how he's done that. He sprays it right. Richmond go back down the other end of the ground. Dusty goes bang, rolls one through. So instead of a 28-point turnaround, it turns into 16.
Yep.
They then get another one through Jack Rewalt.
Mm-hmm.
And they go in looking okay.
Yeah.
But they gave them a sniff. And the worst thing you can do with Richmond is give them a sniff. At one stage, they had 80% of the possession in their forward half of the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
That in a grand final, that is nuts.
Yep.
That is absolutely nuts.
Yep. Because you're sitting back in the second quarter, and Geelong pile on three quick ones, and you're like, hold on. But as a Port Adelaide man myself, I put on the group chat with the boys. I said, 119 coming up. Here we go.
I think Brenton's talking to you. It's Grind, you drongo.
And so you're thinking, here we go. Tigers are in huge trouble. Geelong were easily breaking through the half-back line, easily getting marks inside that forward 50, and just seemed to be converting everything. But then in the second half of that first quarter, the game shifted. It went back to Richmond, and Richmond started to play their game. Richmond started to put their one percenters on. Even though, sorry, you go, Peps.
No, go.
No, I was going to say, even though Geelong still had that lead in the second quarter and went into half time, 15 points up. The game felt like it was shifting in that last 10 minutes of that quarter, or the last sort of 7 minutes of that quarter.
As soon as Brian missed that shot, thanks, Brenton, you just knew that, they've let them out here.
Yep.
You can't give Richmond a sniff.
Yep.
And then it got to the third quarter, and when they went bang, 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 straight away, they kicked 8 out of the next 10. They kicked 8 out of the next 10 goals.
Well, let's go into halftime and Peps.
And all the players, sorry, before we go, but all the players that were dominating, Duncan, Guthrie, Stewart, Dangerfield wasn't doing much. Stanley was doing a little bit around the ground as well.
Yeah.
Their backs were playing like they were just playing Geelong football. It disappeared. It completely disappeared. And everything that Richmond couldn't do in the first half.
Yeah.
They've just got a belief about them. My team, Geelong. My team, Richmond. They've just got a belief about them. It was a tale of two halves.
Yep.
I think they went ugly. They went ugly, Gwyneth. They didn't go good looking, Gwyneth.
So then let's talk about the third quarter. So the third quarter,
Deers in the headlights.
Coming out of it, Geelong still had that 15-point lead. So 2 and a bit goal lead, And I don't even know where to talk about this next part because literally it's like that, like the industry super ads. One team went up and one team went down.
I went up the escalator. You went down the escalator.
From there, Richmond really took control of the game. Their midfield got on top. Their forwards started to do their little forward things. You started to get the names involved, and we talk about the big names. You talk about the man who was only equal to Lee Matthews, started to get the ball and started to get the Tigers rolling.
I forgot her head in a box, Gwyneth.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? But they recorded 25 points from turnovers.
Yep.
And 19 of those came from forward half intercepts. Their pressure factor was 215 compared to Geelong's 189.
Yeah.
Shai Bolton, would he be the most improved player in the game this year?
Yep.
He was just stunning. Jaden Short, look, I'm going to say it now. I'm a man to admit when I'm wrong. Meters gained is a massive stat.
It's only taken 10 months to get here.
But I had to have one that made a lot of sense. He had 3/4 of a kilometre in meters gained.
Yeah.
That's a lot of meters gained.
Yeah.
That's a lot. He was sensational off halfback, and unfortunately, there was a tattooed bloke who decided to kick forward. After he kicked the first two, I've gone, he's going to win another norm. He's going to win another norm.
Yep. So from that, in the third quarter, Richmond piled on another 4. Geelong kicked 1 goal and 3 behinds.
Everything that they were doing in the first half got completely flipped. They were winning the contested possession count. I think they won that by 14. They won the clearance count by 4, which led them winning the inside 50 count by 9. In the last quarter of a grand final, when you think it would tighten up, they just opened it up big time.
Yep.
They generated 32 points of their 35 from turnovers. Mm-hmm. Lynchy's gone nuts. Reece Stanley's kept doing his thing. Dusty, they just everything. It was just the yin and the yang of two halves of football.
Yeah, for sure. But the game still went into third quarter time with 2 points separating them, Pep. So the game was still on the line to be won. But if you're watching the football, if you know football, the game was heading towards the landscape. It was almost like the start of what's that movie with the big tidal wave coming, like the year 2000 movie? It's a big.
Yeah, that's 2012.
That's it. It felt like that. It felt like Geelong were the New York with that wave coming through.
Oh, they were just sensational, and it was a tattooed wave who just when he. Bloody hell, Jamie. Tell the young fella if he wants to do special comments, he has to put in a resume.
Well, you've upset him.
But, you know, the thing that just blew my mind was that last goal that Dusty kicked, the one where he sort of intercepts, Dangerfield tries to tackle him and he just swings it. Like, at that moment, I've gone, I just can't bag the bloke.
Yeah.
Okay? I can't bag the bloke. He was sensational. And my tip last week came true that the worst finals player of all time outside Stephen Stretch, which is a bit rich, Gary Rowan, I think, has taken over they call it the Leon Davis medal. He was number one of mine that if he does not show up, he's going to go missing, and he goes missing. They're already trying to find him at the MCG from the final a number of years ago, and now they're going to try and find the remains of him. Yeah.
So the fourth quarter, I suppose that's when we started to see the luxury, the Rolls Royce really just rolling through Geelong, because they went from they piled on an additional 5 more goals. They could have had another 2 or 3 easily, but they went from 7-4-46 Richmond, and they went up to 12-19-81, where Geelong piled on 1 more goal for the quarter. So two goals for the half for Geelong in the grand final.
I'll tell you what, I love our community on the chat as we record this every week. Justin Parker, you have that's probably comment of the week easily about why Gary Rowan couldn't get much of the ball. Can I just say, Meningola's mark in the last quarter?
Yes.
when he has absolutely knocked out his own teammate.
Yep.
But to go back and slot that to give them some sort of chance.
Yeah.
Cracking kick. But then it went back down the other end again. They're just, I don't know what it is, mate. They haven't got, like, if you look at that team, they don't rely on one people. But yeah, mind you, having, and I'll get into Trek Conchit in a moment, but having like a Dusty, a Lynch, a Rewalt, Noah Bolter, like, where's he come from? He's just, they're not. Oh,
for a ruckman who's been basically a single ruckman the whole season when a lot of teams are switching to two ruckman systems. Unbelievable.
I think he had the most tackles on the weekend as well. Again, he has had a massive final series.
Yes.
He was just sensitive. I can't fault them at all, Richmond. Like, I know I actually did say this, that I didn't think that they'd make the 8.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look, we both did it. And at one stage, they didn't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
But they just happened to do everything right at the right time of the year. They lost the first final. And they do what Richmond do. They just get together. They've got that much belief. Oh, goodness gracious. I wish my team had some of that.
Yeah. No, so basically, Richmond roll out of there after their third premiership, 3 in 4 years, with a 31-point victory over Geelong.
And the only thing that stopped them from having 4 was Mason Cox. That's embarrassing.
Yeah. So, look, lots of stories from this game, Peps. Let's jump into, I suppose, 3 that I want to highlight with you. But if you've got any more, please let me know. But
yeah, let us know if you've got any questions for us on the chat, because we've got bucket loads to talk about a game which was unique in so many facets.
All right. So the first one to talk about is Gary Ablett, the injury in the farewell.
Gun. Absolute gun.
Yep, absolutely. Shattered that the injury happened.
You know the worst thing about that bloke is he could have had up to 4. He could have had 4 Brownlows.
Yeah.
Because there was the year that he did his shoulder and he was dominating, did his shoulder and lost it there. That would have been his 3rd.
Yeah.
And no doubt the shoulder cost him over a couple of years. There was something like, it was like over a 5 or 6 year period, he was averaging something like 30 possessions and 1.2 goals a game.
Yeah. Yeah. Right through the middle of the, 2000s, so ends onwards. Yeah.
He was 30, like he's 36. His dad was an absolute superstar, but he was just a freak. He was a freak, and he did it so long. Just to see him go out that way with a bung shoulder, no good, mate. No good.
Yep.
No good. It's not the way that champions should go out.
Yep.
But I will say something though.
Yeah.
Richmond, like, they are a class act. For them to be able to go out and do the guard of honor, and I think it was Dusty's idea to tuck in the medals so they wouldn't see them.
Yep.
So if he goes back, that's just class. Like that's a culture within a club that is that it's here.
Yeah.
That's what makes them the best club in the league.
Yeah.
Best club. That they are the Melbourne Storm of the AFL.
They are. Are you saying there's a controversial there's payments coming up for Richmond?
No. That's why Rance retired, but we'll get into it another day.
So look, that was his farewell was amazing. You had the umpires, you had Richmond lining up, or the coaches, support staff, anyone who's at the ground who could be on the ground was there giving it. And seeing the greats leave the game is always a sad thing, but that was such a fitting way to farewell the game. And it's the only time that I wished at that moment that the MCG was the ground that he got chaired off on or farewell to.
I certainly agree. Could you imagine 100,000 just... I would have loved it. Absolutely loved it. But
heartbreaking that I don't know if you saw or heard the audio where he said he couldn't lift his son off at the end of the game because his shoulder was so cooked. But that would have been fantastic. And look, we know about his sick child. We know about all of that and the toing and frying, going up to the hub, coming back, going back up to the hub again.
Yeah, it's
just an amazing player, an absolute. One of the goats in the paddock.
Oh, he has to have a statue. He has to have a statue.
Yeah. Yep.
No doubt about it. A quick question, and I'm throwing this out for everybody. So leave a message on the Facebook page or leave a message on the chat as we're rolling this one out tonight. I keep hearing that Dustin Martin is the greatest finals player ever.
It's hard to argue.
Well, what do you...
3.
Well, 3 norms, yeah. Give him that. But is he like the greatest finals ever player?
I find it hard to argue against that.
You do?
Personally.
Well, but yeah, what are you putting it up against?
Not my question. It's for the listeners.
Well, I don't agree.
Okay.
And there's a guy who is virtually the greatest player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
The sexy number 3 with the mustaka from Hawthorn.
Mm-hmm.
Go have a look at his finals records in terms of what he kicked in terms of goals, etc. Far exceeds what Dusty's done. And you've also got to understand, this is the thing, that the Norm Smith medal has only been around, I think, since the 1980 grand final.
Right.
So there's a lot of final series where players who were best on ground haven't had that accolade.
Oh, I know, but recency also has a huge way in things.
Yeah, well, let's not start what happens with the Hall of Fame, the good bloke.
Don't get me on that rant.
Don't get me on that rant, but yeah.
Well, look, when you see grown men going out there and getting haircuts to emulate the great Dusty and getting the tats and getting all those sorts of things, like I don't want to go there and get a Lee Matthews mo. But Dusty look, the Dusty look is the look.
Yeah, but the Dusty look is sexy. Hey, for 1 month every year, everybody does the Lee, don't they? In November.
With some can.
Yep, some can. The other reason why you don't grow a mo, I don't think you actually could grow a mo. Actually, you've been trying since last year.
I had a beard for ages. I had a beard for ages.
Yeah. You look like a cheer pet.
Oh dear.
Unbelievable. Who's a quick question? Who's better than Dusty in my opinion? Look, I think Dusty top 3 easily, but I think we get caught up in the minutia when we need to be opening it up a bit wider than that. And I think there's been a lot of players who have had fantastic, Gary Ablett Senior.
What about
fantastic final series? But just
what about Wayne?
Wayne had great final series on and off the field. But like I said, Lee Matthews isn't the greatest player of all time. You just don't throw that one together. The guy's an absolute gun. And go and have a look at his goal kicking record in finals, and it'll absolutely drive you drive you nuts. Here is some rippers as well too. You got McLeod, Jarman, Ayres, Matthews. Yep. Simon Eichhold.
Not as good as Dusty.
Jamie Dersma. Russell Richards, the greatest grand final sprint. Hodgie, fantastic finals player. Absolutely tripe on the special comments. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Doesn't get me excited.
All right, so
he's Captain Obvious.
So Dusty's 3 norm. That is a special thing in itself.
Oh, that's Bruce. Bruce would have under the table calling that one.
That is special in itself. 3 Norm Smiths. He's actually pretty amazing.
Pardon? Yeah. Oh, don't think it'll happen again.
Probably not. All right. So
not many teams play 3 grand finals, let alone be best on ground in all 3. That saying though, in the first 2, he could have easily had somebody else win them.
The second one for yes.
The first one for yes.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Basher Hooley should have won the first one.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And who'd you say? Who was the second one?
Well, I'm saying the second one was just one kick, one goal from getting it, and that could have been. Oh no, now completely gone blank.
Nah, I don't think you know. Yeah, what about Winks? There's another one. What about Winks? Black Caviar. What about Archer? Might and Power. There you go. We could get going all night.
Just keep going on horses now.
We might as well. Hey, we want to talk about horse. Let's talk about some horsepower before we quickly jump into it. Hey, congratulations to Lewis Hamilton setting the record for the most Formula One wins.
Hey.
Welcome to Burnout on Lace Out.
You are going into Lee and I's lane here.
No. It's you remember, you're the co-host.
You keep to your own side of the pit wall. Thank you. This is Lee and I's territory.
All right. Well, okay. Fair enough. Then I'm sorry. All right. Okay. I'll go to this next one now. I'll have to throw this one open to all the viewers, all the listeners right now.
Mm-hmm.
With the first ever night grand.
Oh no! You've gone too early.
Some story of my life.
One too early.
All right. Well, what was your next one?
It's the Richmond Dynasty, Richmond Dynasty.
A dynasty.
Dynasty? The dynasty?
No, the dynasty. It is a dynasty. Well, that actually raises my next question. Rank these in order, people. Rank these in order. Geelong, Brisbane, Hawthorn, Richmond. Rank them in order whose dynasty is more impressive than the other.
I've got mine.
You got yours? Mm-hmm. All right. That's okay. You can.
What are our listeners going to say? Because our listeners.
Yeah, I want to hear some of the listeners come in with this one, because this is. It's going to be one of those ones that I think is going to cause a little bit of controversy, I must say.
And they're all wonderful teams. Like they're all amazing teams. That's just where you put your
special teams.
They are, and they're all special teams because they all do something very different in their game.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we've got anything coming through. Anything coming through at the moment? Let's just check.
We got one.
We have got one. All right. We've got the Lions, Hawks, Tigers, and Cats. We got obviously the Richmond supporter says Richmond, and the Richmond, Brisbane, Geelong, Hawthorn. Okay. Why don't we start with you, J-Dog? Who do you reckon, based on your humble opinion? Here we go. Another one. Geelong, Richmond, Brisbane, and Hawthorn. So it seems to be quite consistent across that one.
I'm going to go effectively what you've got there. Brisbane 1, Geelong 2, Hawthorn 3. Oh, no, sorry. Brisbane 1, Geelong 2, Richmond 3, Hawthorn 4.
I would look, if these teams played each other, who would win? That's the way that I sort of look at it, right? I reckon if Brisbane took on any of these other teams, they would kick the crap out of them.
Yeah.
They were just a brutal team, and they played a lot more brutal games. They played in 4 grand finals in a row, obviously winning 3 of them. Led with one of the hardest players, that midfield, the Fab Four that was running through the middle.
Yeah.
Then you had Lynch and Brown down forward. You had Lepage and Mel Michael down back.
Yeah, the Scott brothers across half back.
The Scott brothers. Oh, then you had
Rewalk cry. Remember that made him.
So I'd go Brisbane.
Yeah.
The next one's the hard one, I reckon, because I think Geelong through their record, but I'd go Hawthorn, and not because though I think that they were the better team. The fact that they got the three-peat was why I put them second.
Fair enough.
Okay. I'm then going to go Geelong.
Yeah.
Because they did go 7, 8, 9, stuffed up 10 completely, and then won 11 with a brand new coach. Mm-hmm. The reason why I'm putting Richmond last is simply they could be first by the end of next year. If they make another grand final, they've eclipsed what these teams have done.
Okay.
And if they go then, and if they win another, it's going to be 4 in 5 years, and you're not going to be arguing with that. But once again, I reckon if you put that Brisbane team up against that Richmond team, Mel Michael would absolutely punch the living suitcases out of Tom Sookie Lynch.
Yeah.
And you're telling me Noah Bolter's going to stop Lynchy? We'll go Darryl Wakelin on him.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I just think it's a different time. Like, we didn't even mention Chris Johnson.
Yes.
Remember when he punched the crap out of that Irish bloke in the international rules? Irish blokes.
Yeah. It caused like a 3-year ban of international rules football.
Yeah, so I'd go Lions, Hawks, Geelong, Richmond.
Okay.
But with an asterisk next to Richmond for the sake that if they go ahead and do what they did this year, next year, stop the bus. They could be number one. Yeah.
Yep. Fair enough. All right.
What a graphic. Jeez, I'm bringing the big ones tonight.
I'm surprised you haven't just popped up like round 17 something or whatever you do.
What do we got here? Oh, hold on. That's week 2 of the finals. Sorry about that.
All right. So let's talk about one of probably the biggest story? No, actually, does this? Peps, I'll ask you. Does this story eclipse the AFL Grand Final, and that is a nighttime AFL Grand Final? What are your thoughts on the nighttime Grand Final?
I didn't like it.
Why didn't you like it?
Because I ran out of alcohol 2.5 hours before the game.
Oh, you can't go anywhere then.
I couldn't do anything. I was 4 wild turkey bottles down, and the game hadn't even started.
Yeah.
It was just too much of a wait.
Okay.
It was too much of a wait. Yep. I don't know if it was just Queensland, but I didn't. The game was exciting, but all the other crap. My goodness, we're going to get into the AFL.
We're going to talk about it later.
Can we park that one?
We'll park that one.
I did like the game itself, but it just went so freaking long.
Okay. In terms of the game and the spectacle of the game being a wet weather footy game, I know that was a big complaint about yours being a nighttime grand final, being day versus night.
Well, let's be honest. They had hurricane something or other drop through that day. They were lucky to get a game going all open.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And I heard something on the radio today, and I thought about it. I went, they've actually got a really, really, really good point, because we keep going on about grand final day tradition, 250 bounce the ball, all that sort of stuff. But then they made the point that virtually all the semi-finals, preliminary finals, all the big games outside of Anzac Day are all played at night.
Yeah.
So why should we talk about the tradition of grand final day? And I thought that's actually a very good point.
Yeah.
And I think this is the call that would make it. I think this is the call that I think it would work in Melbourne. You get 100,000 people there, it would be nuts. I've been to prelims with 100,000, 95 odd thousand, and it is nuts. It is awesome. You can have a look at the TV ratings, and we'll get to that in a moment, because that blew everything else out of the park, blew the NRL completely out of the water. The numbers were massive. I think it's something like 7 out of 10 TVs at one stage were tuned to the AFL Grand Final at one stage around the country. Well, you're not going to get that through a day grand final.
Yeah.
That saying, though, it's when you've done something for so long to change, but when there's that many eyes watching the game and they're the ones that are paying the bills at the moment, you're probably going to have to do the right thing for a little while.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. I found that I was just waiting around to sort of. We had a sweep with a group of friends at 5 o'clock, and I found my day. I was waiting until 5 o'clock to do something. Like, I'd gone out there, I'd sort of done my morning exercise, I'd supermarket beers, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what do I do now? Like, but I feel that it could work. But for that game being a 7:30 start, or whatever it was,
yeah,
I found that I didn't get to enjoy the after game stuff. So the Gary Ablett moment, like that was like 10:30, 11 o'clock by the time you got to that. I had Hux. It was just, oops, we've lost
Jamie. Whew, thank goodness for technology. Good point here from Steve Tanzariti. Finally brought something to the podcast after all this time, because everybody was locked in their houses. Do you think that was the difference? You needed something before it. You needed another game. You needed not going to be the reserves, but there needed to be something before it, because you used to have the grand final breakfast. Hi viewers, it's just me now. You'd have the grand final breakfast. Then you used to have the under-18 grand final. Then you used to have also the reserves would be played the night before. Then they'd have that Indigenous All-Stars game, etc.
Yeah.
I think there needed to be something on.
Yes.
During that time. And it just felt very, I'm waiting around. And the fact that you couldn't get anybody around unless you were doing dodgies.
Yeah.
Sort of sucked the life out of it a bit as well too. So it might have been an anomaly.
Yeah, look, it just felt like it started too late. I don't mind the shift to a later time stuff that's trying to do, because we can talk about it here. We can talk about this part here. The nighttime halftime show was brilliant.
Yeah.
So that was awesome to see. But maybe started at 4 o'clock, not 7:30. That's the biggest thing for me.
You're not more of you reckon a twilight grand final?
Yeah, because I just felt like there was too much of the day to fill in with just nothing. And then the game was the game. By the time you get to the medal, absolutely love. It was too late.
It was too what? You've dropped out again, but that's okay. We'll keep talking. I agree wholeheartedly. I think there's just a number of factors that, look, if they gave it another go in Melbourne and it doesn't work, then call it for what it is. But entertainment-wise, are they ever going to get this right? Listeners, viewers, are they ever going to get the AFL entertainment right? Last week, Jamie bagged me something chronic last week because I didn't have a clue who any of the bands were. And after watching them, I'm glad I had no idea who these bands were, because when a band plays a Sure cover, and apparently that's worthy to get a Guernsey at the AFL Grand Final, music in this country is completely stuffed. At least I could sing along to Geronimo.
Jeez, I tell you what, I was watching and I just want to take a little walk down the street when I was watching that stuff. Like it was bad.
It was brutal.
It was
brutal.
2 reasons Peps, I knew it was going to be a bad gig. 1, the guy was wearing sunglasses performing.
Yeah.
Number 2, he had a peroxide Slim Shady haircut. 2 signs of a wanker.
And when they sing real soft like this.
I didn't even realize it was a Sure song or whatever it was.
Oh, you've got no idea, have you? You've got no idea.
No idea.
Here's a good statement. What about every leap year have a night grand final and state of origin? I don't mind that idea.
Yeah.
They sang cover band songs.
It was bad.
Just no.
Also,
they need Steel Panther. Get Steel Panther. They would have brought Glory Hole, or they would have brought
End of the World.
17 Girls in a Row. Tomorrow is End of the World. Death to All But Metal. And any of the classics.
Also, AFL. I was watching the lead singer from Wolfmother. I was almost having a seizure on my lounge room floor, because all it was just the standard footy cameras showing the band on top of the whatever it was, the bench, and all it was like flash, 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 flash. Couldn't actually see the performance.
Oh, how good was that? Yeah, the entertainment. Couldn't see it because of the smoke. I felt like I was back at the Cactus at about 3:00 in the morning.
Like just
everybody, peeps, Western Suburbs people knows that one, the Cactus in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm. Way before my time.
Or the Tunnel. The Tunnel, or any football club's social club rooms at about 2:00 in the morning before the days of smokes were banned from the club rooms. You used to have the haze floating across the roof.
Sticky carpets.
All right.
So look,
where do you get sticky carpets?
Now.
Oh, we're from Tigerland.
So you've just quickly gone through the entertainment, have you, Peps?
Yeah, it was shit.
All right, so let's talk about the NRL entertainment, because that is the most like for like comparison.
They always get it right.
NRL did it way better.
The NRL, mind you, she started walking through the.
Oh no,
that was a bit.
I was thinking, oh no, she's going to do the whole performance inside the tunnel. That's what I was thinking.
That's what I thought. That's a bit wanky because it's raining. I thought, oh, geez, it's going to be a bit dead. But then when it was Amy Shark, I was disappointed. I thought that she was going to sing Baby Shark. I was waiting for them, like, Baby Shark. Didn't come out. Okay, who's this Amy Shark? What? No idea. Mind you, not too shabby, Amy Shark.
Yep, she is a babe. I think it goes to show, Peps. We try and do this. Australian talent showcasing on Australian sports, yada yada yada. But it just goes to show that Australia doesn't actually have any big grandstand bands with any good songs to get up and dance to, because AFL, Geronimo, I think, is about 6 years old, that song. So good song, 6 years old. Amy Shark, little bit boring.
But you know what?
Then in excess. Oh! Get your flag, get your scarves out, boys. We're at Port Adelaide home gown.
Oh, it was like when Katy Perry brought on Missy Elliott at the But we tried to get Queensland bands, and all the good ones turned us down. So that was left. Yeah, they stuffed it up. We tried to get it a little bit too fancy. Yeah, there's not many good bands up in Queensland that would want to play with the AFL, and I get it. But mind you, though, as a spectacle, AFL best game in the world. Can we quickly jump to the rugby? Did you watch the game? Did you watch the game?
Absolutely.
Hey, can I say, Melbourne Storm, they are just the most professional unit. Who would have thought Cronk leaves, Billy Slater finishes up, Cameron Smith's turning 86, Ryan Hoffman finishes. Where are they going to get it? And they just keep pulling it out.
Yep.
That was with some of the best, with the best non-biased commentary I've ever heard from the NRL. Phil Gould, totally impartial.
So professional.
Totally impartial. I'll tell you what, if you did not know, if I didn't tell you after the game that he used to be the president, GM, whatever, of the Pen, you wouldn't have known because he was that impartial. Did not say one thing that would make me lean either way.
Even though Melbourne Storm won the grand final, the Panthers still won, according to Phil Gould.
Yeah. What's the straw for?
So,
did you make it?
Yeah, I made
it. Did you put bourbon in it?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, Dale.
So the game, the game was pretty good. And I don't even like NRL that much, but I actually sat down and watched the whole thing. I thought, yeah, it's a pretty good game.
Oh, mate, that's a fantastic sport. That's cross-country boxing, that thing. By the way, can I just say, I reckon this is did you like the halftime sprint that was done at quarter time? With 8 people? With 8 people?
Well, actually, can I quickly just ask that to people, because I know we've got
sponsored by Colgate in those white leggings.
That was funny.
Look like Smurfs with footy jumpers.
I've got a question for the people out there, because we hit all demographics, Peps. We hit male, female, and all age demographics.
Transgender, LGBTQI.
Was Fox Footy not working for the grand final, and we had the Channel 7 only?
Yeah, so the Channel 7 are the only ones who can broadcast the AFL grand final.
Right, because I was trying to look for some halftime, the halftime stuff's different on Fox Footy than it's to Channel 7. I was thinking I'll flick it over and whatever. There was just nothing. And I was like...
There's nothing.
Okay, all right, that's fine. It wasn't just my Foxtel then.
No. Can I say, this has come through. This is one of the best comments I've heard. I gave Steve a bit of a rap a little bit earlier on, but how's this for a comment? The grand final sprint should be only for ruckman.
That's not fair, because we all know that Melbourne swing ruckman who are 5'3" into the middle.
No, and non-gender specific either. Are we saying that AFLW ruckman can run as well?
Why not?
Maybe. Okay. Look, I just think that I think there's. I don't know. Look, they've got the flag. There won't be an asterisk next to it. And if anybody says there's going to be an asterisk next to it, you're an absolute flog. They deserved everything that they got.
Absolutely.
110 days they were living in hotel rooms for.
Yep.
Mind you, 5-star on a golf course, which and apparently was happy hour every night.
Yep.
G-bangers galore. Imagine the pool. Wags around the pool, 30 degrees, happy hour every night.
We know about Gary Rowan, so we can't talk about that.
Oh, God. What did he get up to?
All right, let's talk about it. So the fallout from this, obviously, is where to for Geelong? Harry, Gary.
Where to? Harry, Gary are probably going to go.
But they're bringing in someone pretty good.
Higgins will come in. Jeremy Cameron will come in.
and they got what's name from North as well.
Who's that? Pollack?
No, not Pollack.
No, he's coming to the D's.
He's not going to the D's.
He's going to the D's.
Jared Pollack is.
Jared Pollack's going to the D's.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yep, it's very impressive. Very, very impressive.
No, you guys up to your nuts in bloody what's the name?
Ben Brown.
Yeah.
Ben Brown, Isaac Smith. We're going to have them all.
So Geelong, slide, continue, hold.
No. The problem with Geelong is their low-end players don't do anything.
Well, they're going to bring in Sean Higgins as well from next year as well.
But that's all right. He'll take probably Gary's spot at the top. Their lower-end players do nothing. Gary Rowan, nothing. Dalhouse, Nothing again. Yeah, and we picked these guys before last week. We said that they struggle in finals. Both of them did absolutely nothing. I think a smart move for them would be going for a half-decent ruckman. I know Reece Downey's played some good footy in the last couple of weeks, but Stephen Martin looks like he might be on the way out from Brisbane because of salary cap issues. Or can we talk about that other salary cap issue?
Not now. We'll quickly just do a Geelong rundown.
Yeah, we're doing a Geelong rundown. He did nothing.
But Pep, for me,
Jay Jasny tried to play on Dusty Martin, did nothing.
This game, though, could have been, and this is the move that everyone talked. They moved Dangerfield from the midfield down to the forward line. Jeremy Cameron comes in, boom, forward line problems fixed. They bring in Sean Higgins into the midfield, boom, you've got coverage there for a player who may be on that 20 to 25 sort of list position. I think that they are probably going to climb next year, which is scary.
No, they're not. I don't think they can get much better, to be honest.
Okay.
And they're just going to be another year older because they've got a lot of older people on their list.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, you can drop two of them, but you can't. Or Hawkins is going to be another year older. Who else is their primary goal kicker? Oh, well, they're going to bring Cameron in, but outside of that, who's their other primary goal kicker? Who can you rely on?
Dangerfield.
But where do you play him? You can't play him in the midfield and at forward at the same time.
No, he's going to stay predominantly midfield next year. Maybe. Well, positions aren't positions anymore. Roll through the forward line probably a bit.
I will say one other thing, though, and I've noticed something. I don't know if you watched a game during the weekend. The number of shit tats on these guys' legs is getting out of control.
Don't like leg tats? Leg tats.
But they don't even make any sense. Like, I've got the paper open now. Look, this is Jason Castagna from the weekend. Have a look. I don't know if you can see it, but have a look at his leg tats.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
That's art, Peps.
Are they just bored with a tattoo gun?
It's just art.
I have that on my walls at home.
Art.
I paint over that. That's just... If that's art, I don't know art.
I'll give you a tattoo when you come down to my way. I'll give you a tattoo.
Oh, okay. What are you going to do?
Whatever you want to do. I'll draw it on your leg. You pick it. I'll get May to pick it.
Oh yeah, great.
I'll get Noah to pick it.
Oh, I get Noah to pick it. At least he'll have some.
All right. So let's talk about the next thing on our thing. So Geelong, right. You reckon they're going to slide? I reckon
they're going to slide.
I reckon they're going to gain.
Nah, they've been up for so many years, and that's the thing. I know we keep saying it year after year, but eventually the bubble's going to break. You know, if I had it here ready for us. You know, they were premiers in 2011. Then they went 7th, 3rd, 5th, 10th. They missed the finals in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
3rd, 8th, 3rd, 2nd.
Yeah.
Something has to give. Something has to give.
Fair enough.
All right, mate. This has been a bumper episode tonight. What else did you want to ask, my friend, as I take another sip of Canadian Club and Dry?
Well, I was having some issues before with my camera. I reckon something must be in your end. I'm just getting shunted off. Anyway, so we're speaking about nighttime grand final. Thoughts?
Yep.
Will we see it continue?
I think it will.
Oh, sorry. I was going to finish my point there. 4:00. I like a game starting at 4:00 because then you get to watch the first half of the game, then have a lunch, then have a dinner time barbecue, and then finish it off. That's why I like a 4:00 start.
Yeah, but the dinner time barbecue is just the reheat of the barbecue that you had at lunch that you just didn't finish. Oh, heat up the snags again. That's how we do it out west. I don't know how we do it down in the coastal regions like you. He's dropped out again. All right. So, and he's back again. All right. Make your mind up tonight, mate. So last episode for the year until trade time.
AFL conspiracy. Every time I talk about the grand final, it keeps shunting me off. I reckon Gil has got a hold of our line, Peps. Listeners out there, protect us from the AFL.
Gillen. And look, I will say one thing. We've given Gillen a bit of stick over the course of the year. But good on him, because if you said in March that we would be able to get a final series completed in a completely different state, etc., they have been sensational to be able to get everything done.
Yep. All right. So, final 10 minutes of this. Final 10 minutes of this okay. World Peps. I want you to put in there. I got a quick hands for you.
All right, go.
What are two rule changes you want to see brought in or consideration brought in?
Two rules.
Yep.
Can I bring in a rule or take out a rule? All right, here's my rules while Jamie, once again, talking rules, goes into distortion mode. All right. So the two rules that I would bring in or get rid of. First of all, the first rule that I would get rid of is the third man up at boundary throw-ins. Bring it back in. Okay, that's can I have three? Because it's sort of related.
Two.
One of them, I've got to have three. One's not. Well, yeah, I've got to have three.
Okay.
2.5.
Okay.
So no third man up, right? Get rid of that. The second one that they've got to get rid of is this whole freaking nominated ruckman bullshit, where you have to say there's two 6'10" blokes standing next to each other, and the umpire still has to ask, "Are you the two going up?"
Yep. Good. Right.
Up. First two that go up, bugger that. And the last one, which has just been brought up, this guy's been read in my mind tonight, is the 10-meter zone around. The guys are not infringing in any way possible. If they start to infringe, then go in. But there's people who are just running past who are getting done for it. It's a stupid rule. I know it's an existing rule, but they're enforcing it a lot more. But there's other rules that they should be enforcing a lot more. And if I had an honourable mention, they had the dropping the ball rule nailed halfway through the season. If you tried to take on anybody whatsoever, you would get stung.
Yep.
And for some reason, the AFL reversed it completely. No idea why.
All right. Very good.
What about yours, J-Dog?
My two rules are controversial. So sit back for the next 2 minutes.
Oh, here we go.
First one, get rid of the 30 seconds after going for a goal. So getting for a goal, the 30-second countdown clock, get rid of it. Totally get rid of it. It's irrelevant. The game is already on hold. Go back, take your time, kick a goal. I reckon that's what's leading to a inaccuracy in goal kicking in the last couple of years, because players are being forced after running 15 kilometers from one end to the other to then take a mark, get back, and then kick a goal, try and catch their breath at the same time. The game's already stopped. Get rid of it. Also, because it stops teams from utilizing that 30 seconds to milk the clock as well. The game stopped. Doesn't matter. Second rule. Here is my second rule that I want changed, Peps. This is the biggest change to the game. Second rule is halftime needs to be shorter. Halftime doesn't need to be 15, 20 minutes. Halftime needs to be the same as first and the first quarter and the third quarter. 5 minutes, 6 minutes. That's it. Done. Keep the game going. Make it a fatigue game, because it's giving opportunities for teams to come back in. I want halftime shortened. Games are shorter, which means that a twilight Sunday night game, you get home at 6:30, not getting home at 8:30. Oh, sorry, 7:30. I want all those things consistent. There we go. There we go, Peps. I told you, controversial.
You know how many times I've said throughout the year, I love you as a bloke. You're an absolute star. I love doing it. They would have to be two of the stupidest things you have ever said.
I said it's controversial.
They're not controversial. They're stupid.
Why are they stupid for?
Okay, so here's the thing, right?
Why halftime?
What do you mean?
Why take it?
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Why is a triathlon 3.2K swim? Is that correct? 3.2?
Mm-hmm.
And then 180K bike ride to 42. That's way too long. Why don't they just shorten it all the way down?
They do.
No.
But we don't go off the end of the bike and take a 5-minute break and go get some lollies, get some gels into us. Nah, mate, it's all on the go. You've got to recover, feed, nutrition, piss, shit yourself. What do you got to do in a race?
Have you ever shit yourself in a race?
No, but you've got to do all of that within the game. It's part of the game. It's about who slows down the slowest over the day, not about who's fast to point to point.
No, I don't agree whatsoever. So here's my issue with the goal kicking one, right?
Okay, goal kicking one, go.
The goal kicking one, they should have the 3.8K swim. The triathlete on the freaking podcast, ranked number 9 in the world, doesn't even know.
You're making a point. You're making a point. It's fine.
So the what was I talking about? The 30-second rule?
Yep.
It's a farce anyway. The big challenge is that the balls.
So get rid of it?
Well, I don't have a problem with the 30-second rule, but it's the coach's decision to tell players to play full ground presses. That's why they're stuffed. But the other thing is the balls that they use as well too. Balls aren't kicked in.
Correct.
And so when the balls aren't kicked in, they're going to swing a lot more in the air because
Correct.
they don't hold their. You have a look at a lot of the 80s, 90s, early 2000s where they didn't use as many balls. They were kicking a bit better scores because they've been kicked in. They don't divert as much.
Yeah, and they're not pointed at the bottom anymore.
Yeah, they're not pointed as much. So they're stupid. They should only be using 4 balls, and that's it. Okay. The one thing I do agree with, and it's been mentioned, is that they do need to lower the number of rotations per quarter. That's the issue that you got right there. There is no reason why a team needs to be having 50, 60, 70 different rotations in a game. You max it to 10. There's your fatigue right there. Make your changes that you can at half, quarter, 3/4 time. Go right ahead. But don't worry about it's too many changes. There's too many changes. The fact that you can play for 3 minutes and get off the ground is bullshit. That's stupid. Teams should not be 15. Another one's come up here that teams should be 15 aside. No, it's got to be 18 aside. I'm sorry.
So you
got to keep some things unique.
So then let's go to halftime then. So teams don't get a chance to just rotate.
Minutes. But it's 14 minutes from the siren. This is where you get it wrong. And this is why people have already brought this one up. Yes, it's 14 minutes, I think, and unless they've changed it to longer than that, to 20, I still think it was 14 when I was growing up. By the time the siren goes to them getting off the ground, it's probably taken them about 4 or 5 minutes to do so. So it's already down to 9. And then they're going to take about another 5 to get back out. So they're only in there, theoretically, sitting down and having a break for no more than 6 to 7 minutes. That's enough time. You've got to give them a break. And
Why?
Because
they're professional athletes.
Oh, okay then. Sorry that you sat down for most of your freaking thing.
All I'm saying is
the problem is that we stuff around with the game too much, and that's the issue with what we've got. Okay,
let's go to halftime then.
You don't need to ruin halftime, but you've also got to realize parents are going to take their kids to the toilets, get something to eat, do something. Like if you cut that back down,
what do you do? What do you do in first and second quarter between those 2 breaks?
Nothing.
So then use the time to go to then.
A piss in a bottle.
You're a funny man.
Just leave it. Just don't mess with it. Look, halftime is the AFL's cash cow. That's when people go to the bar, pick 4 stubbies up. You don't understand, Jamie.
I knew that you disagree.
You've never played the game at the highest level. I have.
I knew you disagree with that, Peps.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a couple
So hold on. This is the type of fluff that we have to talk about, right? So this statement says 18% when players train twice a week. Now they're far superior athletes and it's becoming impossible to move the ball. That's got nothing to do with the 18 players. That's the way that they're coached. Take the down the ground footage out of the way, and they'll train and play completely different. And you've got to make scoring. You've got to encourage scoring. Now, whether you give bonus points for kicking 100 points, 80 points.
I'm controversial. My half.
That's not controversial.
You're giving.
If you want them to score more, you've got to encourage more.
You're giving bonus points.
If they kick 80 points, you could still lose the game, but at least you're still scoring.
And if you run the fastest between the 2 50-meter arcs, you get another bonus point. All right, guys, what's coming up next?
You're a dickhead. Thank God this is our last episode because you're just bringing this level of this game down. All right. All right. Hey, great questions that's come up. You know what? A great question has come up, and
it's the same question you just put up. Oh, there we go.
No, this one. What's going on with the golden trolled Treloar? Okay. Joe, you need spell check next time, but I'm not going to hold that against you because you've actually given me the scarf and the hat tonight. Personally, the way that I read it is simply this. They offered him a 5-year contract at about 900. They've got a squeeze from when they need to sign my check, the Goey, and what Grundy has done to them. With a reduced salary cap, they can't fit this all in.
With the Dane Beans payout.
Yep, and with the Dane Beans payout. And now they're like, okay, how are we going to do this? Oh, I know. We'll go and try and flog off the bloke that we brought into the club who said that we had a better list. He has done nothing wrong by that club, and they're just pissed off because he's had bad hamstrings over the last couple of years. You knew his kicking wasn't fantastic. You offered him that contract. You've got to deal with it. Eddie Maguire is a perfect example of somebody who every time somebody wants to have a go at someone from Collingwood, comes out and says, he's got a contract, he's not going anywhere. Haven't heard a thing from him since when it regards to this particular scenario, is it?
Yeah. But we put this on the table a week or two ago now about his partner was going to go and play for Brisbane. He as a young father who has a history of all the stuff we spoke about earlier, we know he struggles a bit. How is he actually going to logistically look after that travel or whatever situation unfolds, especially now at the moment with states being locked out, like Victoria still can't go anywhere?
Yeah.
How could he not want to see his partner and see his child? And as you said, this huge-ass contract that Eddie has put on the table, they seriously back-ended that contract. So it wasn't front-ended, they back-ended that contract. They have put themselves
in this issue.
And that is... I agree. And it's unfortunate that now they're just taking advantage of a young 25, 26-year-old. See you, mate. Catch you later. Nothing to do with you.
Because they've stuffed up.
Yep.
And you know what? I'd be saying...
I'm sticking around.
Twos for all I care. I'm sticking around. I'm playing twos, mate.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the highest paid reserves player in the Peter Jackson VFL.
Yeah.
And I don't care because I signed a contract.
Yep.
And that's the risk that businesses run. You offer the money, you back in the deal, you know what you're getting into. Now, because you haven't managed yourself correctly, they try and flog somebody off and tell him he's not wanted anymore.
Ben, Collingwood knew this when they signed the contract, that they had about these 3 or 4 players coming up, big name players coming out in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So they were aware, and they also back into this contract as well. So they knew that they're going to have to pay more at the end, because at the start when they signed him, they were trying to juggle those contracts with Pendles and those sort of people as well.
Yeah. Well, he does butcher the ball a fair bit, but even from his draft year, was on the radio before we came in today, he was saying that during his scouting report that he's got great pace, great evasive skills, hard, but just sprays it everywhere. Not a great kick. Nothing's changed. You knew what you were getting into. And this guy didn't go straight to you. You recruited him.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no sympathy for them at all.
No.
It's finally nice to see Collingwood getting shafted for a change. And it's their own doing this time. But mind you, they're probably a great fit for the Blues.
Can you imagine another one going to the Blues?
Hold on a second. Don't let the facts get in the way. What facts? I just gave all the facts. I'm getting all this grief at the moment. Oh, here we go. Peps just steals my ideas. I don't steal your ideas, Steve. If I stole all your ideas, you'd have a podcast and be successful.
Or be like us, unsuccessful.
Or be like us. It was funny last week, quick story. Jamie goes, Peps, we should get a YouTube channel going and put our broadcasts up there. Maybe that's where we get some more traction. And I said, yeah, we have actually got one up there. And he goes, I didn't even know. And he goes, well, apparently nobody else does because no one watches it.
I think we had one view.
And that was me testing it to see if it worked. All righty. But the trades, they are getting exciting, aren't they? It all kicks off on Monday. Free agency kicks off, I think, Thursday. Lots of things are going to be happening. Just when you think last year nothing more could happen, this year just seems to be. It seems to be a lot of the pre-agents as well too. So players who are getting into their last year of contracts.
Yep.
A lot of things happening. So yeah.
Yep. So what are we at? We're Trade Radio is back in 9 hours and 50 minutes, people. Keep your ears glued to Trade Radio.
Yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a recap in a couple of weeks' time. I know it's our last episode. I don't know what you're all going to do on Tuesday nights now or during the week when you listen to this podcast. You might get your lives back. I know it's not going to be as exciting as what as it's going to be, but I'm sorry. We know we have to take a break. We need to see our families on Tuesday nights. I've got a SAS Australia to catch up on.
I've got the block.
Oh, yeah. So, no, we'll be coming back with a bit of a review, maybe every second week of the trades. Especially if anything massive happens, we might do a little bit of a specialised broadcast, just an update to give you a bit of a heads up. But, yeah.
And now that we can travel, Peps.
Yes, we can travel. We probably will finally do that. We're planning on doing a face-to-face episode together, just the two boys, a couple of beers. And,
we're going to do it at the bar, weren't we? We're going to do
we're going to do one. We're going to do one live. Get everyone down to the bar. Get all our followers.
And then bang.
But then, unfortunately, COVID kicked in, and we were limited to 5 people, which still would have been we would have had 2 people left over to attend. But yeah, we're going to do a live one, and we've got a couple of things rolling on for next year. So we'll be back next year. We can't we're going to be heading into our 4th year next year.
We might even take the show on the road a bit, Pep. So
yeah. What do you reckon we could do it?
Don't know. It's gonna be Tuesdays. We just got to work out how we can do it because you're still at home, aren't you? You're working from home still.
Oh no, I don't live with mum and dad.
You're working. Are you working in the city at all, or not?
No,
coming up.
No, I'm at home at the moment.
Okay, all right.
Working at home. Yep.
We'll try and work it out. But anyway, listeners, thank you for an awesome 2020. It's been an incredible year, one that we will never see the likes of ever again. Our podcast has been going now for 10 months, Peps.
10 months we've been going.
This
10
year.
months. How much do you love it? Hey, in the chats. A quick question in the chats.
Oh yes,
who do you?
Steve's down here.
That?
Steve's down with me.
What do you mean? Steve's down with you?
Yeah.
Oh, don't go meeting up you two. You'll regret it, both of you.
Steve, hello, fellow resident.
Hey, just a quick thing. Leave a comment. Who do you prefer on the podcast? Do you prefer Jamie or do you prefer me? I already know the answers that are going to come through. And I just want to say, look, I love every single one of you tuning in every single week. Like I said, online or on the chats. Like we've set a record. We've had 100 messages come through tonight on the chat. That's massive because every single one means a lot to us. And so everybody who tunes in takes the time out of their nights. Look, maybe you love watching us. Maybe you just avoid the family. Yeah, that's okay. We don't care.
Having a beer with us.
Having a beer with us. Or a Canadian club. In your Richmond gear. Go Tigers, double Cobras. But we're going to be rolling out
what have we done?
I'm just reading what people are writing in, and people are actually voting for themselves, and they're not even on this damn cast. But we'll be giving you the next couple of weeks. Next couple of weeks, we're going to be giving you racing tips on Jump Out. That's our racing. It's our racing element. We're also going to go to the Monaco Grand Prix. Thoughts? We're going to transition into Burnout, our Formula One.
Boring Grand Prix.
Yep, boring Grand Prix. I think Lewis Hamilton drove a fantastic race. Interesting, Scott McLaughlin in the Indy cars. Didn't think you'd look into that, but I did.
Oh, look at you go. Where did he finish?
20. He didn't finish.
Good man. Look at you go with your research.
Crashed on lap 26.
Good man.
Damn right. I know my car racing. Alrighty. And if anybody didn't watch, Hell in a Cell, WWE Hell in a Cell happened on Monday. And Roman Reigns beat Jey Uso.
Knockout.
And Robbie Whittaker won on the weekend by points on UFC. So it looks like he might be having another fight with Israel. It's going to be massive. It's going on huge, but we're getting some massive tips in. Get on Sirius Sue this week. Apparently is a lock-in. Lee Mack will give his tips.
Hang on, before we go.
Justin Parker will also giving his tips as well too.
Peps.
Justin Parker. Hold on. Dusty Tycoon this week. 3 weeks. Big run on the weekend. Yep.
Quickly, Peps, for me, because I'm a horse racing nuffy.
Yep.
Melbourne Cup tips. Give them to me now. I need to know. Who am I looking for Melbourne Cup? Who can tell me? I know Lee Mack's on there.
You're a few weeks early. You're about a week early.
Doesn't matter. Earlier they are, the cheaper, the better odds they are.
Okay, I'd go Dusty Tycoon.
Come on, keyboard warriors.
Into Shifty Octopus. Into Rolling German.
We've got Thupathelli on and Thickfith. We've got
Thupathelli and Thick the one, Thupa Choice.
What do you think, boys? With a bit of a setup?
It's too early. We've got Derby Day this weekend, and I think after Derby Day we'll get a nice indication of what's going to happen with the races. But
all right, well, I will keep a lookout on our own.
We will definitely get on to Jump Out, our official. But look, I'd like to say for everybody who's joined in on the podcast, joined in live every Tuesday. This is the first year that we went live on Tuesday nights, and it's been an absolute success. We're going to be doing it again next year. We just love you all. To Jamie, mate, you're an absolute star. You've had a lot of things go on this year, moving to a new area. work, etc., and you're still taking the time out every single week to join me, and I can't thank you enough. I love you like a brother. You're an absolute star.
Thanks, Peps.
And I really appreciate you. But every single person, like I said, 3 years we've been doing this for, and we're hopefully going to go for a lot more. We don't know where this is going to go.
By far our best year.
Our far and beyond our best year as well.
The hard work that Peps does in the background. You don't see we've changed platforms about 5 times. We've gone through lots of video platforms, lots of changes, lots of different colors, designs, looks, feels, run sheet, guides, all that stuff happens in the background is all the hard work that Peps puts into the show. So
we do it because we love it. And so that's it. That's another year of Lace Out. I can't believe I'm actually feeling a bit feeling a bit yuck at the moment because I enjoy doing this. But like I said, we'll do a few catch-ups. Hopefully going to be pumping out a couple more interviews. I rolled out one with Peter Nastasi last week, grand final umpire. I had an absolute ball chatting to him. Trying to tee up a few others just to sort of tick a few things over. But if there's any topics and if you know any players that wouldn't mind having a bit of a chat, aka Lee McKenzie, Wayne Blackwell, tee it up and I'd love to have a chat and once again, bring it from another perspective. But to everybody, have a fantastic year. The season's over. Go Tigers. I'm happy for you. And Jake,
well done.
I've got to ask you for the last time, how do you like your footy, mate?
Peps, I like it the same as I do every week. Lace out.
Have a great show. Have a great year, listeners, and we'll see you this time next year with the number one podcast this side of the Westgate Bridge. Have a great week, all.
See you, listeners. Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna cry. It's upsetting. Like, it's not. It's shit.